Hi, Gina Ammon here.
And Donna Baker. We're from Douglas Elliman Real Estate.
And today we're going to be talking about home inspections.
Yeah. So I know a lot of the times we focus on sellers, but we thought it would be a really nice idea if we talked about what happens when you get into escrow as a buyer. So what was the first thing they should do?
Well, definitely we always would advise to have a home inspection. We appreciate that this is a competitive market situation. Even if you're buying the home as is, you definitely want to do your due diligence and get a proper professional home inspection. We would give you 3 choices of home inspectors, and then you can continue.
And then once you decide who you want to hire for your inspection, we schedule it with the listing agent. Now, sometimes the listing agent will show up at the inspection, but 9 times out of 10, it'll be just you, the buyer, us as your agents, and the inspector. We like the seller to leave so that they don't hear all of the bad things that's going on in their house, because they're in denial. So.
Right, and it's a good time for the buyers to ask the inspectors questions without additional people listening.
Right. So what the inspector does is they'll go, I tell my clients, they go up, down, over, under, back, forth. They check electrical, plumbing, foundation, air conditioning, all the systems that are related to a home. And then they will issue a report. And that whole inspection process, depending on the size of the house, usually takes about 2 hours. If it's a bigger house, it could be 3 or 4. And so we stay there with you the whole time. And then after we're done with the inspection, the inspector will write up a report for you. Hopefully they do a summary page so we can really focus on those items that are on the summary page.
Right, and usually they will give you a verbal summary, which is a good point in time to be asking additional questions.
Yeah.
And then at that point, we go over a strategy on what you would want to ask for in the event that repairs or credits could be asked for.
Right. So we try to focus on advising our buyers to only focus on things that are health and safety related, because those are really the things that a seller should address for you. So in other words, sometimes there are houses that were built in the 60s and 50s that have old heaters up in the attic that were recalled. And so we want to know if, for instance, that heater is in the attic. That's something that the seller will need to absolutely address. So other things would be, knob and tube wiring in older houses. What other things do you?
Well, there would be additional inspections would be either sewer line or chimney or termite. So those would be additional inspections that could procure findings.
Yeah, and it used to be that the purchase agreement actually included termite inspection in there, but it was the seller who did it. And really it's more appropriate that the buyer does it, because it's your termite company and your termite completion. So it makes much more sense for the buyer to schedule that termite inspection at the same time as their inspection, right?
Right, and hopefully they don't find any leaks, but sometimes we do see leaks and things like that. So those are definitely things that we would want to have remedied by the seller.
Yeah. So just know that we're on your side, and when we get into escrow with you, we're going to guide you through that whole process. But we feel like that's one of the most important contingencies is your inspection. And I would say 80% of the time when escrow's canceled, they're because of a bad inspection or a seller that doesn't want to address the issues.
So please give us a call if you need anything. We're here to help.
We're hand holders, and we would be glad to have you as our clients.
Thanks.
Thanks. Have a great week.
Bye.